what have just been your general impressions about cohesion, chemistry, the way the group's coming together?
I mean, you feel just the situation of having a returning players, that the corporate knowledge and the carryover and the stuff that, you know, takes normally longer time to put in, they pick up more quickly. And there's a familiarity that you feel most dramatically since I've been here, with those guys just sort of getting into a familiarity much sooner than in previous years.
But along those lines, because really your 5 starters for the bulk of last year are all together and healthy.
Yeah,
And I look at teams that have strong starts.
yeah.
I mean, it does make a big difference, and both those characteristics could lead to that.
I think that, you know, and I think, you know, you put Markel in there, and, you know, you're looking at Bennett 4 and Markel at 1, and, you know, you're looking at Bennett times as a 1 and Markel as a 2, and so it's flexible as well. You know, Muscala can come in and play some 4. Your point about that starting group having a level of familiarity is true. And as I said, you know, just right at the start, you know, I feel it from a coaching perspective. There's a rhythm that normally teams, you know, you don't feel or see this early. They know what they're doing together. It's stuff that we did all last year.
Brett, how are you trying to, I guess, monitor Joel this preseason? I know he's in his best shape, but you also have some extra bodies that you can use in the preseason. Just
It's that, Keith. I mean, it's a good question. We're trying to, you know, just be mindful of his loading. I mean, the technology in this gym behind me with Connexon, you know, that all these guys are wired up, and you can judge, you know, how many miles they've logged, the speed at which they did it. You know, you start draping that into, you know, heart rate monitors and just gut feel. And we feel responsible to better understand how to manage the athlete. Joel, you know, who we're talking about now, but we have bodies to let him go through stuff and, you know, again, deliver him to a start of a season with his health and his spirit.
But has he been, excuse me, a full participant, or you taking? He has.
There's no restrictions.
No restriction.
You know, we expect him to play back-to-backs. I can play him as much as I want. There was just no restrictions.
Okay,
So-
and how? I'm pretty sure for you. Sorry for this. Keep going.
you're
But
fine.
for you, because you may think about last year. I mean, he couldn't even participate in 5-on-5 the first week.
Yeah.
And you know, so this is great for you to get everything installed and all that.
It is, and it's especially great for him. You know, we all like look at the ups and downs that the season had, and whether it's an injury or a mask, it's hard to find his own, you know, personal rhythm, and it obviously affects the team. And this year, you know, you come in and everybody is healthy. There's a rhythm beat. There's a fluid side of everybody's world, coaching, playing, individuals' world that we haven't experienced before. And as I said at my media lunch, I think he's going to be dominant. I really think he's going to be dominant. And there's not one thing that I've seen this summer in this gym behind me that suggests otherwise.
When Ben was asked yesterday how much he played with Markel scrimmaging, he said a lot.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming by design they are
Yeah.
your future.
yeah,
How do you, in terms of having 2 facilitators,
yeah.
how do you divvy up, or what do you want? Or do you let it play to you and you're kind of observing to see?
A little bit of all that. In my head, I think I know. And they either contradict or confirm when I'm watching it. But to have a plan to start with, I have that on how I want to use them together, and, you know, the different things, either from a play call perspective or, you know, when does Markel have the ball and Ben goes to a 4, and when does Ben have the ball and Markel stays at a 2, are some of the options that you have. And the good news is 2 things immediately to me. One, there is a versatility that they're going to teach us on the benefits of those sort of multi-positions that they can play. And 2, and probably most importantly, there's a willingness and an excitement for them to play with each other and figure each other out. You know, Ben has been remarkably selfless when we talk about the addition of Markel. Markel is a point guard if he's anything, and Ben was Rookie of the Year with the ball. And so there's sacrifices and trade-offs and those types of things that we all have to make, and those two coexisting and candid discussions I have with both of them has been very mature to date.
Back to Joel for a second. I feel like bully ball is a buzzword that was associated with him in the offseason. How would you define, what does bully ball mean to you, and what would you like to see in those situations?
I mean, it translates into free throws more than anything. To me, it's like, you know, he gets paint catches, he gets close. It is this bully ball. It's like one dribble, two dribble, gather step. It's Shaquille O'Neal. And he has that ability to do that. And by the way, he can step out and shoot a three. And by the way, he can turn and face and have a little like 18-foot, you know, rocket step isolation spot of the floor that he's really good at. Part of his not problem, part of his sort of quandary at times it is he's that good and that capable all over the floor. Is, you know, when do you get into beast mode bully ball, and when do you know, want to step out and not in a fist fight your whole life and look at a three-point shot. There's no book that tells you how to do that. And so I do look forward to letting him be what I think is going to be a dominant year.
Can the same be said also from like coaching him on that stuff from that standpoint? Because you think of the game like at LA last year, and that seemed to be a game where you just fed him, but I know the offense does other things than just feed Joel. So from a coaching standpoint, do you have to judge and see what situations would make it most effective to really feed him constantly? I
mean, we have been with each other long enough now where you can go gut feel, you can go analytics. I can tell you what part of the floor he's most successful on. I can tell you what part of the games he's most likely to be double teamed. I can tell you what part of the floors we want him to have outlets where he can punish the double teams. We've been with each other enough where we're getting there with the familiarity of what, you know, he likes, what we like, what the game tells us. It'll speak to us, you know, based on time, score things. And so I think we have answers to the things that I've just said based on familiarity and just the multiple years that I've been with him.
Are you starting to get a better sense of what the bench is going to look like as you integrate?
I don't. I think I know. And you come into the season with a plan, but historically, you know, you're always a little bit wrong, and somebody steps up. There are injuries, there are people stepping up, and, you know, I think I'm coming into this very open-minded, and as I said to the meeting, and I said to the team, the gym will tell me. You know, the gym will speak to the coaches, and they'll carve out their own chunk of space, and, you know, I hope to reward it.
How has Markel's shot looked the first 2 days of training camp?
I think good. Like, the best thing I see in him, and I saw it in the month of September, he's not bashful. Like, he takes the shots he should shoot. And sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. But his mindset is money. Like, he really, you know, is not gun shy at all. And I think that's as good a compliment as I could give him.
Was there anything that you paid particular attention to? I mean, he just, media day the other day, seemed like so at peace with himself, and the aura was good. Did you guys like do anything specific to try and get him to that spot, or how did that come about, do you think?
I think it's a byproduct of his confidence. I think when you put in the time and the man hours and the frequency, the volume of shots, 150,000 charted, documented, you feel good. You feel like you've studied and you're ready to take a test. And he's done that. He's put in time. And he, to me, you know, his body language, his spirit, really, to me, reeks of one that seems very sure in himself. And I think that's based out of him knowing he hasn't skipped steps or cheated. Like, he's invested time, and he feels pretty good about it, and he should.
What was your level of knowing Drew Hanlon's theories, work ethic, or not work ethic, but you know what I mean? What he, and because you entrusted a person who was coming off a pretty tough year without really knowing exactly where it was going to go.
I mean, his reputation with a few of the players that I know was excellent. And I think anytime you get somebody that's committed to like just live with somebody for the summer, and the client, the player, really is equally as excited to partner up as well and reposition himself on the other side of the country. You know, the Philadelphia scene for a moment probably didn't produce a ton of great memories, and he just wanted to get away. And I applauded it. We maintained continuous dialogue and flying out there and seeing him, and we had 6 guys from our club regularly, you know, sharing what was going on. And I think that Drew's done a great job. He's really taken it personally, you know, try to bring him under his wing and help a young man as much as somebody shot. And for those reasons, I respect Drew's, I think, genuine care for him. It's deeper than let's go fix his shot, you know, and I respect it. I appreciate it.
I know it's early, but what have you seen from Wilson the other day? He was talking about just bringing in aggressiveness on the defensive end of the floor.
He's a man. You know, he can play a 3, he can play a 4, he can switch out and guard a 2. He's a veteran. You know, he's sort of a quiet achiever. But he's physical. I've had players like, you know, Luke Mbamute, those modern day playoff guys that can just are that versatile and tough. The Morris twins are similar. You know, they can come in, they're just very versatile, and I think Wilson reminds me of that type of player where he's multi-purpose defensively and offensively.
Coach, different look to the second unit. What can we expect from it?
We have a lot of, you know, with TJ and Markel and Ben, we really have push guards. And I think that with Muscala, you know, getting up and down, and Amir, like, you get 2 bigs that aren't ground bound, they really want to run. And then, you know, we're playing around with our wings. What do our wings look like? And so I think the speed ball, the pace of which we play, will continue. And I think there's a defensive commitment, a defensive energy that we demand. And, you know, I think that second unit will be able to guard like we want to guard and still have the ability to put points on the board with some firepower there.